Ryoma are the only two heroes that have had 100% pick ban throughout this tournament.
We'll see if they do ban out the Ryoma. There we go.
I think it's smart to ban out the Ryoma. I think it's smart to ban out heroes. But actually, I think it's more about, I think banning out those heroes is more important for SK than it is for Team Liquid, the ones that aren't released in the West. Because these guys have been playing a distinct style with the heroes available to them. It's all complete, and these new heroes are new to SK. Everything is new to Liquid.
Yeah,
so I'm surprised that Liquid are the ones banning out these heroes, unless SK have suddenly picked up Ryoma and been like, oh, we're just going to decimate everyone with this.
Maybe. But Zephys will be banned away on the side of SK now, just one ban remaining for Team Liquid.
70% ban rate on that Zephys throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
Been an important pick for a lot of teams.
They've been learning their lesson.
I mean, if you look at the breakdown from group stages to quarters to semis, Zephys picked up momentum in the later stages of the tournament. So it wasn't a very important pick in the early stages of the game, but it grew in the quarterfinals and towards the end of the group stages.
It's kind of like a different version of Ryoma in a lot of ways. I mean, he has a very similar sort of kit in especially with that sort of 1000 stab style of ability, but it is going to be Violet getting banned away, and the Airy, oh no, the Murad gets locked in. So
that's a staple of EU right now. Typically, Murad is one of these heroes that is always picked and banned.
Well, we saw that again at the start of the AIC. We saw that being the case. It was 100% banned, and then it was got through, and it carried the game, and then it was always banned. But it is going to be locked in first for SK Gaming, and Zill is on the cards as well.
Zill's one of the most popular mages in this tournament. A couple of other picks that come ahead of him in how things stack up. Typically, we're seeing a lot of L'Oreal and Raz are the top two mages we've seen in this tournament. But Zill has had his niche little pick. If Liquid Green run this, I'm not sure. I think they need to lock down something more impactful. Maybe denying the Batman from SK is a smart idea, because that is very popular in Europe as the top tier jungler.
They aren't going to lock it in, though. It's going to be the Malok locked in.
They've learned their lesson.
They've learned their lesson. Malok, obviously one of the most popular top laners or off laners, solo laners in the AIC. Zill locked in as well.
Yeah, Malok boasting a 97.3% pick ban across the entire tournament.
Is that to one decimal place, or is that just?
That's two decimal places.
Is that rounded?
No, it's 2 decimal places.
93.8.
97.3.
Okay, that's 1 decimal place.
Yeah, but it would be 90.
Okay,
You want me to say 97.30?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Being incredibly pedantic this morning.
I'm always pedantic. I just don't always talk about it. Zill, Malok locked in, and it's the Zuka and the Jinner being hovered.
So, Zuka is one of the stronger off-roll picks. However, we've identified throughout the entire tournament that it takes a little bit of time to ramp up. It doesn't have the early game impact like the Ryoma or the Lubu has if you're looking for a more damage-orientated solo laner. Jinnar hasn't seen any play whatsoever, so it'll be interesting to see what SK can come out with in that matchup. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Asian fans in the audience who are watching the AIC broadcast in their own native languages, looking at this and going, not sold on the Jinnar, but let me be proven wrong.
Yeah, we'll see how they are able to bring that on to bear. Ruz being hovered by Liquid. Who else are they going to be looking to pick up? Potentially the Ormar being hovered, something that isn't really seen as much in the Western tournaments, but is a very staple pick in the AIC.
Yeah, approximately a 90% pick rate on the tournament so far for Ormar. And Raz, what we said, he's one of the top. So I think that Team Liquid are just basically looking at what SMG do, and they're replicating an exact composition.
Because the Chaugnar getting locked in, that's something that was pioneered in this tournament for SMG with that Alice, so potentially looking at the Alice for the final pick.
Yeah, and it's weird because it didn't get a lot of pick. It's something got a 20% pick ban rate throughout the entire tournament. But then if you look at it at a regional level, it's one of the more popular mid lane picks for both for Taiwan predominantly, not so much for Vietnam, but it's something that these Taiwanese teams like to bring into the fold. Obviously, a tankier AP mage that runs in there. And yeah, like I said, the Team Liquid composition is looking awfully like something SMG would run.
They've learned their lessons. They've been paying attention. Maybe it's their extended stay in Korea.
They have been here for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, so maybe they've been talking to the SMG players, getting some tips. Maybe they have a little bit of coaching going on. But it's going to be Thane and Lubu hovered. Lubu was so threatening that actually SMG were banning it out significantly more than normal, and we saw that it could, he was able to solo the Dark Slayer relatively early into the game.
Once he gets to that late game with the sustain coming out from his ultimate, he can do that and get that solo Dark Slayer, while the rest of his team runs stalling tactics, run defense, potentially even sets up a trap. And that is Bag hovering the Omega.
No, it's going to go over. I think, yeah. So they are going to.
I was going to say, they were doing so well.
Yeah, they were doing so well. Slims, again, something that a couple of these Asian teams have been picking up. Mainly ST were well known for it in their group stages. And actually, it was banned against them by SMG in the quarters, or the semis, sorry. But they are...
They only had to ban it once against them, though.
Yeah, well, they only had 2 games to play.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
50% ban rate against the team. If it draws a ban that well, then it's going to be significant. And I don't know if it was actually played in the other game. I'd have to look back over the recordings, but it is going to be locked in. The Slims rounds out Liquid's comp.
So... yeah, if you're looking at Liquid's composition, it's very familiar to what we've seen over the past couple of days. The only real outlier on the side of SK Gaming in that composition that I kind of go, we haven't seen a lot of it, is the Jinnar. Everything else there has been seen quite a lot of play. 50% plus pick ban rate in the tournament so far. So there's nothing really to scoff at. Jinnar does have a sustained role in there. His AoE ultimate, dealing continuous damage, is going to be a big impact in this matchup. The question is, has SK Gaming got the tools to lock them up enough for that AoE ult to take effect? And then you look to the Thane, who has that AoE knockup. Zuka, the AoE stun. Lubu, he's got chase potential, along with Zuka. These two men, Knight and Pish, could be an absolute bloodhound squad where they will hunt you to the end of the earth because they have the ability and chase potential to do so.
The problem that I'm seeing at the moment with SK's lineup is that Murad. So highly prioritized in Europe. You've got this assassin who's looking to just burst out your players before the team fight. But when you're running Malok, Ormar, and Chaugnar, they're not very easy to burst out.
Who are you bursting?
Who are you bursting? I mean, the Slims is really your only target there.
You could try for the Zill of his ults off cooldown, but you pose the risk of Zill just turning it around on you.
Exactly. I mean, both Murad and Zill able to sort of fulfill a similar role in that sort of assassin who just jumps in, bursts down your carry.
And he can get out quite safely with the mobility.
Yes, exactly. But we are going to get into the first game of this best of 3. SK Gaming versus Team Liquid, and SK Gaming will start off on the blue side, Team Liquid on the red.
One of the things we noted about, that we had a discussion before the broadcast about the European, the biggest difference between Europe and Asia is the elongated laning phase.
Yeah.
We mentioned it briefly, but it does have a lot of impact in how usual Western play goes.
Yeah, Liquid are going to dispatch of that pretty quickly, but SK are going to be caught unawares, so they are going to rotate in, find the 4 versus 3 in the jungle. No rotates coming in just yet. Dave is caught up around the buff. They did manage to pick it up, but that's first blood going over to Pish. Knight's going to try and get the stun on, and that's going to be a couple of Team Liquid members getting knocked up. Green on the run. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from that one, and he finds a double kill on the Lubu. The early champion is going to be starting to reign.
I really like the aggressive initiative from Team Liquid to take that play. The problem with it was that Jackie didn't come back into the fight quick enough, and he didn't rotate down from mid lane, whereas they got the immediate support from Jinnar, and so there was just a man advantage that could be met. Also, they kind of left Dave to die.
Yeah.
They all rotated around the back of the pit, and Dave was left in the middle of 4 members of SK. Even with Slims' jump, he's not going to be able to get out of that one, so it's just unfortunate.
He might not have even taken the jump first.
Exactly,
he would have taken
level
the spear to scout out the brushes to make sure that they weren't going to get sort of ganked. But SK are going to jump straight on into the mid lane with Edu trying to find a knock-up, but Jackie's just going to trample on out of that one, and Liquid are going to find themselves safe.
I mean, this is, I was watching the MPT tournament last night to get an idea of how these European teams are playing. And one thing I noticed was there was a lot of roaming in the early game, but they weren't picking up the kills to make it count, so there was a lack of efficiency there. And so people who remained in lane in the opposing team just got an innate golden experience lead, and there was a risk of that happening there, because Lubu was just left in the bottom lane by himself for a long period of time. He's now started to rotate around the map with SK though.
Murad spot out Green in that brush and drops the ultimate, taking down to half HP. They're contesting around the Spirit Sentinel relatively early, but Louis could get caught on there. The Spirit Sentinel has positioned by SK. And the zoning as well from the Thane is going to mean that they aren't going to be able to get anywhere near that. And the ult from Murad, just able to burst it down. But Team Liquid haven't taken that initiative back and gone for the Abyssal Dragon, which is generally what we're seeing these Asian teams do.
Yeah, we usually see the immediate Spirit Sentinel into Abyssal Dragon at the 2-minute mark. They want to get the ball rolling on that XP and gold advantage. The earlier you start it, the more of you can get throughout the course of the map. So that's why a lot of priorities on there. I think why we're not seeing SK Gaming and Liquid do that is I feel these teams aren't confident with doing it that early. Things to do with sharing around the damage output that's from it when it's contested. But they understand there's multiple members on the map, and top side for Team Liquid, only Malc on the bottom side, so that gives them the insurance and the confidence to go for that, knowing they could go low.
They're going to trade the turret in the top lane for the Abyssal Dragon. SK Gaming need to find it. If Bag jumps in, he could spot it out, but it's not going to go the way that he might have wanted. SK do manage to pick that one up, and actually they already have the gold lead. That top turret, not necessarily the biggest loss in the world. If they are able to rotate around and try and get some pressure elsewhere, it could be recouped.
Well, with the top out being down, the only option is
go for the fight, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Jumping on into the jungle, they're going to find the first kill. Louis able to pick it up. The Jin Air finds the first kill of his game. Is he going to be traded back? The Endure does get popped and tries to get away, but Geordie on the back line able to just burst him straight down. SK still trying to find another kill onto Dave, but he's going to hop on out of there. And now Team Liquid are rallying around their team. And there's the knock-up as well from the Malok on towards EDU. Knight very low as well. The shield just about saving his life. Not quite able to find any more kills for SK, and they're just going to go for a one-for-one trade.
What I was going to say before I was rudely interrupted by that fight was that with the top lane outer being down, it now creates a situation where Team Liquid can threaten the split push on the inner, which is a greater objective to lose. And applying that pressure, they can then try and force something around Abyssal Dragon to play around the opposite side of the map and leave a split pusher in there and draw the attention of SK Gaming to it. So that's kind of the advantage you get from that tower being taken this early on in the game, because the main objective that's not a tower at the moment is the Abyssal Dragon. It's too early for Darkslayer, so you rotate around the bottom side of the map.
They're going to get found out. EDU in the brush is just going to start to get chunked out, with Dave starting to shred it on down. Jackie to finish it off, and Liquid get the pick off onto Thane and the Spirit Sentinel.
So there's a little bit of a desync with the Spirit Sentinel. Typically the Spirit Sentinel has a lower respawn time than the Abyssal Dragon because there was such a delay. It's come back up while the Abyssal Dragon is in the process of still returning to the field. And we already see Peach moving down to the bottom of the map. Get that lane pushing against the tower, frees them up a little bit more to have more time around this Abyssal Dragon should it be stalled out by Liquid's presence.
So far what I'm seeing is that SK, they're doing the right movements, but the roster from Liquid is just running through them in these team fights. Let's see if they can do it again. SK going for an aggressive invade in the jungle over towards the Abyssal Dragon. They're rotating well around it, but again, if they lose the team fight, there are players from Liquid around Murad trying to zone them off the back. Going to be going on through, trying to pick it up. SK will be able to find it. Light is able to secure that one. Jumps onto Bag as well, drops the ultimate down to half HP, but just pops back over the wall with the clone.
So yeah, what was like? You got the names mixed around a little bit there.
Did I?
Yeah, because you said it was Team Liquid are running straight through them. But that's fine.
In the team fights?
Yeah, in the team fights. Team Liquid aren't. It's SK who are running through.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's arbitrary at this point. Underneath the tower, Bags in the spot, Bomber uses the defensive ult. Always a sad sign, but sometimes it's necessary. And just to quickly note as well, you saw a trial card code come up on your screen. That's going to be happening a lot today during the broadcast. So if you see those codes come up, make sure you get a quick screen grab of it, enter it into your app, and get some good loot.
So it was, I believe that was a ZIL code, that one just there.
It's a ZIL trial card.
But they are just going to trade off these inner turrets. Oh, maybe not, as Lubu does get backed off by Bag on that Malok. And no, they are just going to go and take it down. Pish, split pushing threat on the Lubu, the Murad ultimate, trying to jump in. Geordie as well will be zoned out. I'm not too sure he wanted to find himself there in the middle of 4 SK members. He will go down.
Yeah, the reason why Bag wasn't able to force it over, Peach didn't back off, was that he just didn't have the wave, and the wave was coming up behind him, so he backed off a little bit so he didn't take turret aggro. Wave turns in, he goes back in on the tower.
Oh, Murad again. Just dropping that out, such a low cooldown, and if you're farming in the jungle, it's pretty much always going to be available because of the way that it works with that passive auto-attack stacking mechanic that Murad has. You can't really go aggressive onto him, especially as a squishy target like Dave. Going to be trying to find it in the mid lane. but they're just going to walk on back. Just clearing the waves for now. Abyssal Dragon will be respawning in 15 seconds. SK Gaming looking to move their presence down to the bottom side of the map, leaving Zuka up top to split push.
Yeah, you may as well do that. I think you've got a significant lead at the moment. I think they have confidence in their team fighting ability to leave Zuka in that top lane, especially if they can get a pick early on.
We'll see if they can do that just now. Murad will drop the zone, but has to fall back, but EDU, again, far too far forwards, and Team Liquid rotate in nicely, able to pick that up. Abyssal Dragon has spawned. Murad just checking that brush, but doesn't get any damage through. They will spy out all 5 members. Zuka will be free to take that top lane outer turret, but Liquid have no contest on that outer mid.
So after winning that fight and knowing they would have a 5v3, there's a clear decision. You can either go for the Abyssal Dragon like they're doing now, or go for the mid lane tower. They took the tower because they knew they'd be able to fall back to the Abyssal Dragon afterwards. On top of that, they also would make it slightly easier.
Not too sure Murad wanted to dash back there, but it's not going to matter. Louis will secure that. The Abyssal Dragon does go over to Liquid, but how many kills are they going to be able to rack up on the back of that? Looks like Pish is going to go down pretty soon. Who's going to pick that one up? It's going to be Bag. 1-for-1 is the trade, as Green did go down earlier, but Jordy makes sure that it's more than one, as Knight is going to try and go for the potential reverse kill. He's going to be able to pick it up with the back up of the Thane and the Jinnar as well, rolling in.
That much needed CC to stop the Zill from dancing around, popping all of his passive. You noticed that Zuka had to pop a stun, so Knight dropped the ultimate, stopped that from happening, followed up by immediate layered CC by Fane, keeps him in the position, stops him from using his spell, stops him from outputting damage, and ultimately getting the kill onto Knight.
Team Liquid playing this relatively similar to how we've sort of seen a lot of these Asian teams playing from behind. They are rotating as a group, even into this early game, I mean pre-10 minutes, which is really nice to see. They've obviously been learning, as we said, with their pick down phase, and now moving into the game, it's a similar story.
So yeah, Jordy just going to clear out that wave, and could be an engagement here in the top side of the map.
Far too far forwards at all times. You're just going to get burst down. Not going to be able to survive that one as Jordy does fall. Louis is going to go down as well. Knight is able to trade it back, but for how long? Light now jumping in. If he's able to get through, he could find himself with a couple of kills under his belt, but he has to teleport back. Now it's Pish's turn, trying to pick up anything he can, trying to even out the scorelines as 3-for-2 is the trade in favor of Team Liquid.
So SK took that fight 4v5 for no reason. Fane jumped in. Fane had the opportunity to back out. He had his charge available to leave the fight. I don't think SK should have taken that. I think it was a little bit ambitious to think they could win the 4v5. Excellent open by Light, though. He shredded down 3 members of the team, but no one could get through the front line of Green and Bag. No one could get to them. So they ended up being able to sustain back the rest of the reinforcements from SK.
And this is the strength that we've seen from these comps coming out so far in this tournament and what Team Liquid have picked up on. The Abyssal Dragon once more on the battlefield will be started up by SK Gaming.
Liquid aren't going for this at the moment. I think they're looking to trap around Darkslayer or the top side of the map, but nothing. I don't think it's too early for them to take the Darkslayer. I don't think they'd win that fight, but Pish is leading the charge now. He's got the full team there. Murad is coming up on the backside. This is the fight SK needs.
So finally they take the initiative, but once more Edu goes down, and once more it's Liquid Dave to pick that one up. The Jinnar dropping the AoE all around.
No one's stopping Dave.
Members are melting. The tankiness coming out from Liquid is just going to be unstoppable. The ace comes through. 2 members lost for Liquid, and they're just going to push it on down the mid lane.
If you can't kill Dave on the back line, you're going to have serious issues when the fight turns its tide against you and you run out of cooldowns, because you saw it there. Dave was easily able to poke down the remaining members of SK with the spears, with the auto attacks. There was nothing they could do on the retreat.
It's been this story of Thane just goes in and gets caught. They're going to get onto the core. The Death Timers are there. They're just going to be able to take this one down. Team Liquid beat out SK Gaming in this first match of the best of 3. Where's your predictions now?
At least I was bold enough to make one.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
But no, I'm pleasantly surprised with Team Liquid. I was looking at the draft. I made that prediction off the information that I was given by these guys about what kind of stuff they were going to play.
Right. Did they play it?
No, absolutely not. They
Right.
they played Asian meta.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, Asian meta beats Western meta.